Hi, in this episode we're going to talk about how to equip weapons, armor, and accessories in Dragon Age Inquisition. Hi, welcome to another playing episode of Gray Lightning, my video blog about making things and playing games. And this is the 8th essential lesson for playing Dragon Age Inquisition. And it's about the process you go through to take things out of your inventory and to put it on your character and your companions to make everybody as strong as they can be at any given point in the game. So based on the type of character it is and the level of the character, you put on the very best things and you sell off the things that you can no longer use. And we're going to talk about that process in this episode. As you collect loot, it goes into your inventory, and when you see this star, it means there's something new in that part of your inventory. When you open it up, the new items are marked with stars as well. Now, a general thing you need to know about these lists is that if it's in white, it means it's something that that character can equip. So in this case, it means I'm the right class and I'm the right level to be able to equip the items in white. The same is true for armor. The new items are marked with the star. When you look at them, the star goes away, so they're no longer marked as new. When you first enter one of these inventory categories, you're put in a place where all of the items of that type are shown to you. But if you see these icons across the top, that first one is the one that shows you all the weapons, and that's where we are right now, but that's not an efficient place to look at weapons. So by pressing the right and left bumpers, you can move through these different categories and sort your weapons. As a mage, I can only equip a staff, so these are the weapons that are available for me. And generally, I go through a process where I give myself the best of everything, and then I distribute everything else to my companions based on my own personal optimization strategy. So, of course, I have to honor the fact that certain classes use certain weapons and that the character has to be at the correct level. I've mentioned before that you have to be especially careful with the classes like the rogue that can take both the daggers or the bow and arrow, and you make a decision early on which they're going to be, and you have to stick with that throughout the game. Armor is organized in a similar fashion, with helmets being the first subgrouping, but then you have light armor, medium armor, and heavy armor, and those align with the different classes. Mages wear light armor, rogues wear medium armor, and the warriors wear heavy armor. I've mentioned that you tend to distribute things to the companions based on your own optimization strategy, and sometimes that strategy is as simple as having favorites, and you always give the best things to your favorites, and they're always who you take with you on your quests. But if you want access to all of the companion quests, you're really going to have a more even-handed approach. And that means everybody has to be equipped as well as they can be. And one important issue is that you want to align their weapons with their abilities. So, for example, I know that Vivian has a lot of winter school powers. So if I have an ice staff, I want to give it to her. So basically, here's the process I go through. I start from left to right. I go through the different categories of weapons. I hand out the best weapons that are available. And if something is a lower level and I know that I'm never going to need it, I pull LT, the left trigger, and that moves it to my valuables so it's easy to sell when I get to a merchant. I do this for both weapons and armor every time I return to home base. Let's talk for a second about accessories. Every character can have one belt, 2 rings, and 1 amulet, and you start picking these up later in the game. It's still true that the white text means that you can equip that, but it's important to align these accessories with the tactics that we talked about in an earlier episode. Some of the accessories are generic, but many of them are like this one here, Enhanced Throwing Blades Ring. To give that to a rogue who doesn't have that ability is just a waste of that accessory. So my general strategy here is I figure out what works with which character. I give it to them, I upgrade the gray or the regular ones to the blue enhanced versions, and then I pretty much leave them with that character and I don't mess with it beyond that. I wouldn't recommend this for advanced play, but if you're playing on casual, I think that's probably a good enough strategy. I think those are the basics for equipping. You have to get familiar with the UI, but other than that, it's pretty straightforward. In our next lesson, we'll talk about how to use the war table.